working. Yep. Start the recording. Should be on live. We're live on Facebook already.
Yep.
And you're trying to figure out the watch party? Or you got it?
Yeah, I used to be able to just click watch party and then it would pop up.
Okay.
It don't do that now.
I don't know. I've never done watch parties.
Oh, you guys, I was learning Instagram. So now I learned how to do Instagram. Now I got to figure out how to do the watch parties again.
All right. Well, we're after 7, so
Yep.
We'll just keep admitting people as they come in. We'll get started. Welcome, everybody, to CNJ REIG. It's our real estate group. This is the night of our monthly meeting. We weaned off from doing more than just our monthly meeting because there's thousands of meetings every day and every week across the world. So we were just like, I didn't want to continue bombarding people with more meetings. So we went back to our just doing once a month right now. If something comes up, we may throw it out there. So if people want to keep an eye out for things, then, I have some things in the pipeline. So, but as part of our monthly meeting, we mentioned the vendors that support our group. Right now, of course, we're not physically there yet, but when we get there, they'll be back with us. And we have A&A Debris Removal. They do cleanouts, cleanups, debris removal from construction. They do demo jobs, anything you need. The price is all inclusive. So if you're doing a clean out, they charge you by the truck, labor's included. Demo work includes, if you've got a room, they take the nails and screws out of the studs. That's
I decided to pop in.
Anthony from A&A. So for all the contracting work you need and the benefit of using them is that's your first draw on any project, because usually you got to do a clean out and a demo. So
yeah,
they come in, they do that, and then you can get your first draw right away instead of waiting maybe a month and a half till you get more work done. But at least you can get going with your project, and you just call them up and they'll come out and give you an estimate and a good price. And you don't have to babysit them. They're registered and insured with the state. So
they know what they're doing.
Yep.
And what's the new feature that's coming soon? Credit.
Oh yeah. They're working on a credit program with their clients, which will help too. So that's really going to be interesting when it comes out. So not only can you get your first draw done, but you don't have to pay for it.
You can get it using a business credit.
Yep. You'll be able to get business credit, and then you'll just submit your bill to your lender and they give you the draw, and then you have the business credit that you can pay at the end when you sell the house or refi it out. So pretty good deal there. Then we have, I don't see anybody here.
Nope. No,
but we have Arcad Capital. They're the hard money lender. That's our vendor. And they have different programs for across the board for flips, renters, development, ground up building. They have all different kinds of programs. And, if you don't know them, you should get to know them. They're local in the community. And the benefit to using them is they know from the investor side where we're from, how it all works. They're not just a financial entity that came from the financial background world and started a lending company. So they still do flips. They still do landlording. They still do builds. They're still getting their hands in there. So they're to me, they're a great company to work for. They'll refi you out. They have a lot of opportunities to help you with your projects and your company. Then we have Villa Homes. Villa Homes is the Derek Logan team of New Jersey. They are an REO agent company in New Jersey. They basically can bring you deals and opportunities for anybody looking for deals. You can reach out to them, but because Derek has been doing REO properties and real estate and as an agent for like 20, 30 years, he has a lot of knowledge and exposure to the industry. So his team can help you not just with REO properties, but any other property out there that you might be interested in. And they can put together a great package and program for you to work with them and get you through your projects.
Both of those guys, Arcad and the Villa Homes, they can help you with learning how to buy from auctions if you're interested in those. They'll help you walk you through and get the deals done. That's the part I liked.
Yeah, they're a great bunch of people to work with too. They're all down to earth guys. So if you have questions, they're all local people. They'll meet with you. So it's not very like some of the other places you got to drive an hour away to meet them, but they're centrally located, and they're always open to meeting with people face to face, on Zoom, however you want to meet right now. You know. So, all right. Another thing I want to mention is we have a great topic speaker tonight,
Yeah.
which everybody's anticipating when he comes on to talk.
No pressure there.
No pressure. Next month, we're going to have a great, I don't know how to put it, but we're going to have a coach come on and talk to you about right now what you need to be doing with your business and your thought process. So he's going to come on and give a brief overview of what he can offer for you, but at least if just speaking with him or listening to him next month, you'll be able to change your mindset, you know, because that's what he's all about, is changing your mindset, not just business, but personal in your family life. So he's a great all-around coach. He worked with us, our whole family, all our businesses.
Worked with the youngest Maverick.
Yep. You know, he's Paul Fink, the Maverick Millionaire. If you haven't had a chance to meet him, you can come on next month and listen to what he's got to say. And he's a great coach. So we also have, depending on what happens in September, I've been trying to get him on for months. He don't like doing online, but I'm trying to get Larry Steinhaus to come on and talk about Subject 2 deals. And in this world of what we're dealing with right now, Subject 2 is a really good opportunity for both the investors and the homeowners. You know, it's great for investors who don't have a lot of cash to put into deals to, you know, it's a strategy. So then we have other things in the works.
Yeah. So that's a few of the things that we got coming up. So I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. So we're a little bit into the time. That's okay. So tonight we're going to have Donahue Baker. I always call him Donahue. And he's here to.
That's what everybody calls him.
Yeah. So I think I've met Anthony probably like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. We don't see each other that often, but you know, it's always great when we catch up. And I joined his group online, and I know he's got a great message and his thought process behind it. It's, you know, it's investing with, you know, cash flow and all, but his process behind it is a little bit different than the way everybody else is doing it. So I thought it was a great opportunity to have Donahue come on and talk about that. And he was enticing me by posting it a few times. I kept seeing it. So I want him to just touch on his 100K LLC that he was like, it's coming out, but I'm like anxious to see what that's about. So I just want to give him a brief mention on that. So without further ado, it's Donahue Baker.
Thank you. I really appreciate welcoming me into your group. This is long overdue, by the way. I know we've been saying we were going to do it, but finally glad to have the opportunity. So this is going to be interactive. So what I need you to do is simply be on if you're on a computer or the phone, when I ask a couple questions, just make sure that you give me some feedback. So that way I know how deep to go into the conversation or how not deep to go into the conversation, because it gets technical at some point and I don't want to lose anybody at all. Right. So a little bit about myself. My name is Donahue Baker. I'm a real estate developer. I own over 500 residential and commercial units in 3 different markets in the United States. I've literally built that portfolio up over a 10-year period, and I strictly do buy and hold, and I focus on one thing: building generational wealth. Now, what that means is I don't do fix and flips. I don't do wholesaling, don't do anything like that. I just have a philosophy that says make more money this year than you did the last year. And if you follow that philosophy for the rest of your life, things will change gradually for you. It's not a get rich process. It's a slowly building, right? So you can continue to do other forms of real estate, but it's really important that you have that cash flow coming in. So along the way in my process, I was able to build this incredible portfolio that allowed me to retire from my job, allowed me to become a multimillionaire, allowed me to create generational wealth for my family. And I've been able to create a system, and that system is called the Skyscraper to Generational Wealth. There's a number of different levels, but what I want to talk about tonight is the first 6 levels to the skyscraper of generational wealth. And if you follow this path, anybody could become a real estate millionaire. and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to take you on this journey to show you how. If I break up, don't worry about it. I'm on my cell phone, and calls are coming in sometimes, and I can't really stop that right now. So that's
great.
what just happened. So
I got one question for you. You're not a guru? Are you a guru?
I'm a CPA, right? I'm a CPA, been a CPA for over 12 years. You know, I've worked in corporate America, and I've been able to retire myself, and now I do real estate full-time. I'm 100% real estate developer, and I have a number of projects in the pipeline. I have actually over 500 projects that are in the pipeline that are scheduled to be completed sometime this year or next. So not really a guru. That's not, you know, I get the bulk of my money from my projects that I do. So I'm out here grinding in the streets, just like you guys in New Jersey. So yeah, so the webinar is being recorded. So you got to give me a copy too, so I can put it on my site, Scott, when you're done. Yeah. Right. So I'll jump right in, right? So the first level that we start with is a level called the cellar dweller level. That is where most Americans live. It's really in a situation where people are inundated with debt, right? One of the key characteristics of a cellar dweller is that they usually have not so good credit. They usually are in a position where they're living paycheck to paycheck, which is not really a good position to be in, because anything can happen. You can lose your job, you can suffer an injury or something like that that can really financially wipe you out, right? So you don't want to be in that position. So on each level as we go up, I'm going to give you one particular thing to focus on. And that's all you have to do on the various levels. On the cellar dweller position, all you have to do is focus on being a creator, being a producer, right? And there's a number of different ways you can do that. Either it's through real estate or it's through starting a business. What this talk is about today is really about becoming a real estate millionaire. And I'm located in New Jersey, by the way, to answer the question. I'm right here in the great state of New Jersey, the Garden State. And and part of what you're going to learn today, some things that you may have heard before, but I guarantee you, if you stick with me till the end, there'll be some things that you've never heard before. And those things that you never heard before could potentially make you a millionaire, right? So as we get to the next level, being more than a creator, the floor level that we call it, that's really level one. That's the thousandaire level. The thousandaire that I define it as is having the capability to make $100,000 a year, right? The reason why that's significant is what I've found in over 10 years as a CPA, that when people cross that threshold, it can be from a job or a business, they have the tendency to stay there, right? They have the skills, the value add skills to stay there, right? And once we realize what those skills are and we're able to know our worth, what we can do is put you in a system to scale those skills. Most people that have a job that makes six figures, your value is a lot higher than that. You wouldn't be able to make $100,000 per se if your boss paid you what you were worth technically, right? Because that's business. You have to be worth more in order to make a profit for the company that's employing you. What we do is able to show you your value. We're able to set you up with systems so that you can start other ventures, do other things, and be able to really optimize your value while you're still working your job. If that's your goal, we put you on a plan to get there, right? So that's the program that we have. And really the key step in that program, at least from the thousandaire level, is getting to level two. Level two is living a rent-free lifestyle. What I mean by living a rent-free lifestyle is your number one objective from after you elevate to level two, it's really putting yourself in a position where the living expenses that you have could be rent or it could be a mortgage. But whatever it is, you're able to make money passively that covers that, right? You could do that a number of different ways. We talk about the FHA, house hacking being one of the prime strategies that a lot of people use. They basically get a multi-family house, live in one side, rent out the other. Some people are in different parts of the country where that strategy doesn't work because there's not a lot of multi-families available. So in that case, we have to figure out, we could do the same strategy with single family homes if you're in a place that doesn't have a lot of multis, right? You could do the same thing. Unfortunately, the single family process doesn't really work very well in New Jersey. The reason why, because we're in a state, taxes are high, and it just doesn't, the business model doesn't work for that primary reason. In other states, you're able to have lower taxes and you're able to rent out each single family home for a profit. So where we are, you're probably gonna go the multifamily route, 2, 3, or 4 family. That's really the first step, the thing that you should be focusing on, right? So as we leave level 2, the next level up is level 3. And this is really, really key because this is where it gets interesting. At level 3, we begin the process of separating your personal profile from your business profile. So what I like to do is tell people, once you bring your personal credit score to 720, you lock it. That point that you lock it, it really means that you don't use it anymore. So the reason why is because we want to, at that point, build out your business credit to be so robust that your personal credit is not even being utilized at all, and it stays forever intact. And the reason why we want to do that is because your credit is your credibility. It's what others look at when they want to do business with you. And if you have bad credit, you're going to give people pause. They're going to be reluctant to do business with you. And where I'm taking you on the journey, we're doing multi-million-dollar deals. In order to do multi-million-dollar deals, you got to have good credibility. You got to make people feel like they can trust you, right? And one of the first things that they're going to do when they go into business with you is look at your credit. So that's the philosophy for that. Now, during the separation, taking your personal, separating it from your LLC, what we're going to do is focus on your LLC at this point because your personal credit is locked away at 720. What we're going to do for your business is we're going to give you the foundations of business credit, right? It's a key component. Because what we particularly do at this stage is a lot of people have business credit, but they basically use the business credit as a trick, like as a hack to get more money. What we do is use the business credit as foundational, right? Foundational meaning that we build your business credit so robust that you would never use your personal credit. And we do that by incorporating a couple of things. The way that we build business credit, we build it on its own. We build it the same way that if startups were going through various series of funding would do it. They basically go through the different tiers, but they also are able to do so by valuation, right? It's a number of things that go into valuation. And then I just want to answer that question that just came up too before I talk about the valuation.
Didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
What you're going to ask.
So how does that come into play? Right, the 720 score, but not a W-2 as an employee.
Right. Now, could you repeat it one more time, Scott? I'm sorry.
So it was John Lewis was asking, I have a better than 720 credit score, but no longer am a W-2 employee. How does that work? How does that come into play?
Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what I was about to tackle, John. That's why I didn't answer it as soon as it came up, but I wanted to make sure I got it right. But that's exactly what I'm going to talk to you about right now. Like I said before, the reason why we want to lock it at 720 is because it's not because we're going to use it. It's just because we want to show that we're responsible with credit. Simple as that, right? That's really why. Now, the reason why that your personal credit doesn't matter is because what we're going to do on the business side. The business side is going to allow you to make your personal credit irrelevant. So if you have higher than a 720, perfectly fine. But I really need you to understand at this particular point in time, your personal credit will not matter. It will not come into play because everything you do is going to be through your business. You're going to be living a business lifestyle. That's what we do at level 3. Everything you do is through your business or a LLC. So you're going to have a multitude of LLCs. You're going to have an ecosystem of LLCs. So your W-2 income at some point in time should be, at least the tax portion of it should be wiped out because everything you do is a tax write-off. If you go to the store, if you travel, if you buy food, if you go out with you, let's say Scott and Tabitha go out and have a meal, that becomes a tax write-off because you're discussing business, right? So it's really about being creative. It's really about being creative, but virtually that's exactly what you're looking to do. You're looking to create LLCs that allow you to put yourself in a position where every single dollar that comes into your possession is funneled through a LLC that creates some type of value for you, be it a tax write-off, be it revenue or an expense, depending on the LLC, right? So we at our company, Money Ave, this is really what we do. We step in at this stage. If you have fully developed business credit, we do two things, right? We're a fintech company. We are literally a bank, right? But we don't have a brick and mortar facility anywhere. But what we're strategically doing is going into communities, and we're targeting payday lenders. Payday lenders, people like those check cashing places, people that charge 20, 30% interest for short-term loans. We have a product that in less than 3 hours, you can get anywhere from as little as $500 all the way up to $10,000 in as short as 3 hours, right? And it's low interest. We're talking about 2 and 3% interest rates on these short-term products. That right there, it makes payday lending or going to check cashing places and getting these advances obsolete. So you can find that. I'll put it in the chat at some point. It's moneyave.com. We also are in the position where we're direct lenders ourselves. We're bankers. I'm a CPA. And what we're doing is once you get your business up and running, we're able to create wealth for you through your business, lending strictly through your business where your personal credit will not come into play. And the reason why we can do that is because we know the businesses that we lend to. We know the people behind them, and we put them in our system. We build out their business credit, and we make their business credit so robust. And you might say, well, how are you able to do that? Very simply, Fortune 500 companies put themselves in a position where sometimes they have a subsidiary company. And being that I'm a CPA, I've been in Fortune 500 companies, and I've watched them do that. They shield revenue. And not only do they shield revenue, they also shield expenses. And those entities become kind of rest havens for expenses, things that take value out of the company. You can do the same thing. You can do the exact same approach. In fact, what we do at Money Ave, literally we're wealth managers. And wealth management, in order to do a deep dive into that, I need to ask a question. So if you're out there, I need to know if you know what a family office is. If you know what a family office is, please put 1 in the chat. Let me just see how deep of a dive I should go into that. I got 1. All right. So 1 means that there's no reason you should know what a family office is, by the way. Why? Because family offices really don't care about working class people. They really care about the wealthy, because that's what they do. They manage the funds of wealthy people. If you're worth 100 million, somebody put 2. I didn't even know Jason Garrett was on the call. I'm honored. I remember you when you coached the Cowboys. Now you're in Jersey. This is incredible. But listen,
Trying to get wealthy.
Family office doesn't really care. They care about people like Jason Garrett, right? They literally want to take over their wealth and manage it. And you know what, when you manage something like your property manager, they come in, they don't own it, but they add tremendous value to your view. If you bring some property to a property manager, that's exactly what they're supposed to do, add value to it. That's what we do at Money Ave. We take the concept of the family office and we bring it from a high net worth individual all the way down to what we call the thousandaires. And that's our target audience. We focus on thousandaires and we help them to go from the thousandaire level to scale up to the millionaire level. And how do we do that? A number of different things. Individually, we look at the thousandaire. Let's say you have a great job. We help you to scale your value-added skills, those high-value skills that you have. We help you to scale them into some type of business. We also give you a strategy to create wealth. We also analyze and say, look, what are the best insurance products? Because that's what a family office is, right? So I skipped ahead a little bit. The family office, let me break that down. Let me do a deep dive into what the family office does. It literally is a group of about 20 people. You got somebody that may just focus on real estate. You have someone that may just focus on insurance products, giving you the best insurance products possible. You know, it's people that are devoted to it every single day. As my son jumps in, and he hates when I don't pay him any attention. But Daddy's on the mic right now, buddy. You want to say hi real quick? Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Hey, how you doing? All right. His name is Legacy, and he is my legacy. So, but really quick, I digress. I just wanted to say that the family office is about 20 people. It's an office space of about 20 people that come to work every single day, and they figure out ways to optimize the wealth of the wealthy individuals, right? So you may think there's somebody there that focuses on insurance products. There's somebody there that just may focus on real estate. There's somebody there that, they're just looking for ways in which they can save taxes. There's some family offices, the bigger ones, that have lobbyists, right? And if you think, why would they have lobbyists? Well, they have a lobbyist because they're instrumental in creating and writing the laws that you see get changed every single year in Congress. And that's important because we need to, in order to really maximize what I said, you live through your LLC, you have to know the loopholes, and those loopholes change every single year. The problem is when these changes come down, sometimes they take a couple years before people expose those loopholes, and the vast majority of people are able to take advantage of them. So they have people that are instrumental in writing the legislation, and you'll be surprised how one sentence can give a nuance to a law, and then it allows people to kind of take advantage of a loophole, which would create millions, sometimes billions of dollars in tax savings. So I don't want to get too technical, but the point I'm trying to make is you have professional people that are working on creating more and more wealth for the wealthy. What we try to do at Money Ave is we try to bring that down to the thousandaire level so that you can have those same advantages. Prime example of one thing, a couple years ago, actually it wasn't even a couple years ago, it was the start of 2019, the Trump tax laws that came into play. It was in vogue to have an LLC. When they wrote that legislation, there was something written in that law that made having an S Corp so valuable that it saved 20%. You were able to write off 20% of your taxable income, that was huge. That was something that was written specifically in. So what happened is it became in vogue before to have the LLC, but just that year, a lot of people started to have S Corps, right? And you wouldn't know that if you're not plugged in or you're not tapped in. But as a result of that, a lot more S Corps are out here floating around to the point where it used to be just most people just went the LLC way because it was less paperwork. So that being said, that is what we do. And in order to really get to the next level in the game, you have to really be solid. You have to really have those foundational pieces in place. And just to recap, the foundational pieces are great business credit, multiple LLCs, also a great bank rating, right? If you don't know what a bank rating is, let me just give you a really quick, without being too technical, there's 5 bank ratings, right? 1 through 5. If you're a 5, which is the highest bank rating, that means you have more than $10,000 in a bank account. So a company that has $10,000 versus a company that has $10 million, they still have a 5 bank rating, right? So it's things like that that you need to know in order to give your company a higher valuation. Because when you set up your LLCs and you set up your structures, you're able to do the most important thing on level 4. Now, level 4, it's real simple. All you have to do in level 4 is go out and get $1 million in debt. Yes, I'm not talking about consumer debt. What I'm talking about here is good debt. Buying rental properties, buying apartment buildings, buying multifamily apartment buildings, single family if you're in the right section of the country. I don't know specifically if everyone on the call is from New Jersey, but I say that to tell you that through your business, you can do all of that. Through the valuations that we help you get, you can do all of that. Go out, get $1 million in debt. Now, you're gonna say, I don't like being in debt. Most people don't like being in debt. And I'm a big fan of Dave Ramsey and You know, he definitely lives a debt-free lifestyle. Nothing against Dave Ramsey, but Dave Ramsey is tailor-made for the cellar dwellers. He's the best at it, right? If you're a cellar dweller, follow Dave Ramsey. He's the guy. But if you're looking to build generational wealth, you're looking to build real wealth, you have to understand the power of the LLC, and you have to understand that debt comes along with that. And this is a perfect segment to talk about something that Scott mentioned earlier, right? Basically, I did a post, and Scott, you can fill me in if I'm not covering it, right? But in the post, I said, if you have an LLC, something like this, right? If you have an LLC that's not worth at least $100,000, you're not maximizing the full potential of the LLC. Was that how it went, Scott?
Yeah, it was something like that. Then there was a couple posts after that, that you were just like, how to have your LLC worth 100K or more. It has to be worth at least 100K.
Right.
You know, and I was like, what's he talking about?
Right. Well, I'll tell you very simply. Yeah, I'll tell you very simply, right? This is what I meant by it. And what I wanted people to do was I wanted people to understand the power of the LLC. And they really have to understand that if they're looking to be a real estate millionaire, because through your LLCs, you should have multiple of them, but there's leverage, right? So for each LLC that you have, we get between $50,000 and $100,000 on each LLC. That's what we do, right? So when I say that, you know, for those out there that don't have at least $100,000, they're not maximizing the potential of their LLC. That's exactly what I mean by that. So, and I use that segment to really focus on our president, Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump has over 500 LLCs. And you might ask the question, why does one man need 500 LLCs? Well, quite simply, he understands the power of the LLC, and he followed the system. He knows that there's purpose behind every LLC. And if we don't tap into the masters of business credit, and he's one of them, right? So he's able to go out and leverage hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars all behind his business credit. And in 91 and 92, he filed for bankruptcy. Actually, he's filed for bankruptcy 4 times, right? 4 times, but never ever affected his personal credit, right? So we should be learning how to do this, because this is how wealth is created, and this is how the wealthy think about things. And it's important that we understand and unpack, or you have people around you that unpack what are the best financial moves to make. That's called financial literacy. And we have to know these things. We have to put ourselves in a position where we're protected by our LLCs as well, protected by the corporate veil, because the masters of business credit have done it. So we have to do it as well. You know,
yeah.
So hopefully I answered that question for you, Scott.
Yeah, no, that's great, because I didn't know where you were going with it when I saw it. There wasn't much detail, and I was like, I got to get him to talk about it, because I know it's something everybody should know and understand, and if they don't, they have to learn how to understand it. Find somebody like yourself that would be willing to help them understand how to leverage it.
Yeah. But we have a couple quick questions.
There's a question here. How do you know if your LLC is worth $100,000 or more?
Very simply, how we get your LLC to be worth $100,000 or more is very simple. We take any LLC, whatever it is, we have a system. We build it up and we guarantee you $50,000. We can guarantee any LLC $50,000. If you have a seasoned LLC, a mature LLC that has 2 years tax returns and able to show revenues of $50,000, we can get you anywhere from $500,000 all the way up to $1 million, depending on the business that you're in, right? If you're in right now, if you're in a restaurant business, it's probably not going to be on the max level. But if you're in a business that is able to be profitable, we show you how to get it. Now, you may say, why any business? How are we able to do any business? From what I told you before, without doing a deep dive into it, because it's a lot of CPA talk, it's accounting tricks. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. There's a rule in accounting called revenue recognition, right? We're able to create an ecosystem of LLCs, and these LLCs are completely separate legal entities. So they are free to do business, even if you own them all yourself. But we're able to show you how your LLC can do business with another one of your LLCs, which can do business with another one of your LLCs, which create commerce. When you create commerce, you basically create value, right? And that value allows you to tap in and get loans on the value that you've created. Every single industry has a multiplier. Real estate is one thing, but it's very important that you not just have businesses or LLCs in real estate. Real estate is actually one of the riskiest sectors that you can be in. So at times, if you have an LLC, you should, and you do real estate, you should also have a very generic name that doesn't necessarily say I do real estate, because that's not the best way to get money, and that's not the best way to leverage it. It's very important that you have a generic name that you can say, I can do anything, you know, and that's how you're able to create multi-million-dollar valuations. Now, let's say you are in real estate and you start to purchase apartment complexes, and that should be your goal, right? So a couple months back, I literally purchased a $5.6 million apartment complex. What's great about real estate is, yes, I paid $5.6 million for it, but I didn't have to come up with $5.6 million. Probably have to come up with like 1.2 million, right? So that's a leverage mechanism. How I was able to do it was a combination of having my own money and then some investor money, but the bulk of it came from business credit, came from building up these LLCs and leveraging the LLCs, right? And that same building 100-unit apartment complex that I purchased for $5.6 million, I was able to leverage, do some value add things, and created some forced appreciation to where that building today is worth over $12 million. So there was a significant amount of upside to that particular deal. And I can't hear you.
What was that?
I'm sorry, I thought it was a question.
Yeah,
so
yourself? No.
There was a couple quick questions before you get deeper, because I'm starting to like zone out.
Okay.
Because I'm like, yeah, this is really great information.
Yeah, you know what, Scott, I'm gonna do this because I got a way of just going and getting carried away, and I really want you to lead and add value and answer the questions. So let's open it up, right?
Yeah,
so before I open it up, let's open it up. But before I open it up, let me put the cap on the real estate skyscraper to generational wealth, because we went through level 4, right? Go out and get $1 million in debt. We went to we didn't touch on level 5. And level 5 is the $1 million in debt that you got in at level 4, you know, is when you become a millionaire, because the debt turns into equity at level 5. But even at level 5, you're literally just a paper millionaire and you haven't created generational wealth. So to get to the final level is level 6. That's the level at which we create generational wealth. And we have a formula. Basically, you should have enough units, enough passive income coming in that you have about $85,000 a month in passive income coming in. And that's the goal. That's the level at which you're going to create generational wealth. And the reason why that's so key is because $1 million today is not going to be worth $1 million tomorrow. So we have to create millionaires. You have to be a millionaire if you're interested in building generational wealth. There's no other way to do it than to be a millionaire, and you have to do it as soon as you can. And that's the roadmap to generational wealth. So
one of the things I was going to ask you was,
right.
Well, yeah, we'll get these questions real quick. Mr. Big Agent asked, if your LLC grossed over $900,000 last year, what could you get?
If your LLC grossed over $900,000 last year, I definitely can get you at least $4 to $3 million line of credit. Simply. Okay.
So then I know who to go to borrow from. To go buy the apartment complex. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely. And that's the key. And then, you know, then we find an apartment complex and leverage that even further. You know, that's really the key, you know, and it's every step of the game is leverage and more leverage, right? And how you eat and how you profit is you pay yourself in the interim. When you do a development deal, you get that development fee. When you put a deal together, you get an acquisition fee. There's different levels, and as the deals get bigger, those fees get bigger, right? So you put a deal together, you may get $1 million fee. But that's really the space that I want more and more people to play in, because that's my goal, to create more and more developers.
But
Right.
we learned we're not spending it until the check is in our hand.
Yeah, you don't, yeah, that's one thing you don't do is say, hey, I'm going to make 60 grand on this deal before it even closes, you know,
I'm
and then you
gonna
start
be a
spending it.
millionaire.
Yeah.
So next question,
yeah.
Diane.
Diane has a question. If I have a holding company LLC that owns other LLCs, so it's a LLC with other LLCs in it, which own properties, do we build up credit for the holding company LLC?
Oh, so I kind of get what she's saying. You have the mother company is
Right.
here. This
LLCs in it, which
the
own
big
property.
LLC, and then there's two
I
little.
know exactly what she says.
So
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really, back when I was talking about the purpose, each LLC should have a purpose, right? So you're wondering which LLC should have credit. This is my philosophy. This is my strategy. The company
Do you want to go out?
that holds the money should not, excuse me? Yeah, the company that holds the money should not have any interaction with the public. The reason why that is because we try to minimize interactions with the public. So your holding company should exist. Nobody should really kind of have any contract with that holding company. The companies that have a contact with the public are exposed, right? They're exposed for lawsuits. They're exposed for doing something wrong, whatever it is. But then you're not utilizing the corporate veil. So what I like to do is let my holding company be away, call it, family name or, legacy something, or, let that be out of the public. You hold that, and then you build up the other companies around it. But you let the holding company be an owner of the other company, so your holding company owns the other LLCs. That's the best way to do it. And I'll show you why. Let's say the holding company, all that holding company does is hold money, right? But you have a company over here that makes $1 million, right? $1 million is probably going to be taxed at about 20, 25%, right? Then you have a company over here, mind you, both companies are owned by the holding company, right? So what happens during tax time, you have a company that has $1 million in revenue, then you have a company that has $1 million in expenses, right? And that $1 million in expenses could be travel, could be, just stuff that you bought, that you bring all your expenses over here. When you do your taxes, the $1 million of revenue gets wrapped into the $1 million of expenses. And you know what you just did? You've canceled out a significant tax burden. You saved yourself about 200 grand. That is a strategy. That's why I want my holding company to be separate. And then I want individual profit centers that I can match with individual loss leaders, loss centers, right? Same thing that happens in corporate America. This is just a strategy that we can use on a more individualistic basis.
Right. So, okay, got it. One of the things you were talking about.
Diana got it too.
Yeah, Diane got it too. One of the things you were talking about was the debt. And, what I know is what you know is that you have good debt and you have bad debt, right? So the bad debt is when you go out and you charge things that you don't need, fur coat, jewelry, whatever. And the good debt is, hey, I just got $1 million against an apartment complex. That's great debt, because it's going to bring in an asset to you. And I think one of the things that people need to look at is what I've been taught was what's my return on investment, which is what the wealthy people think. The first thought is what's my return on investment? What's it going to make me, right? And that's how we should be thinking. What's it going to make me? Not how much it's going to cost, but what's it going to make me when I make this decision?
What can I buy when I get the check?
One of the key metrics that I look at when I analyze every single deal is people bring me deals and they're like, oh, the cap rate is 10%, or the cap rate. I don't care about the cap rate for the most part, because I purchase value add opportunities. What's key for me is the cash on cash return. How much money you have to put in. Then the next question, and this is key. So if you're out there looking to get into apartment complexes.
Oh, we lost you. Not now.
Oh,
There he is.
No, your mic's off.
Secret.
Unmute.
How about now?
There you
Am I here?
We lost you right when you were
All
going to
right,
say that.
I was like, no, that's like that mystery suspense movie.
All right. All right. Well, now this is very important. So if you're looking to get into apartment complex deals, write this down, because this is how I analyze my deals. Right. So the key metric that you need to pay attention to from the investment purposes when you are looking to leverage credit, right? It's when
Somebody's calling.
I'm still here. That was the call that came in. The last one wasn't. But the key thing that you need to do when you're looking to leverage these lines of credit is the velocity of money. The velocity of money is going to determine how wealthy you get and how soon. So what you need to focus on is the cash on cash return, right? Now, focusing on the cash on cash return strictly means, and this is what you should ask on all of your deals, because this is how the deal should be structured. You need to ask when the opportunity comes, how much money do I need to put into the deal to make it happen? Out of pocket, cash out of pocket, right? How much do I have to bring to the closing table? The next question should be, how fast do I get 100% of that money back into my pocket, right? That's the type of deals you should be looking for. Not how much profit I make, how soon can I get the money that I put out back into my pocket? And there's a number of different ways in which you can do that. That can be through a refinance. That can be through, maybe a compensation structure where you're actively managing a deal and you're getting paid to manage it because you have very little money into the deal, but because you found the deal, you've tied yourself to the deal. There's a myriad number of ways, but that's a key metric, because what you need to do when you have these large lines of credit is you need to be able to tap, get access to capital, and replenish. And when you replenish in full, your lines of credit goes up, the stakes go up. And if you're able to do that really well, what's going to happen is you're going to increase the velocity of your money, and also you're going to be able to get higher and higher credit limits. So what that is, if you don't know, matter of fact, let me ask the question. If anybody knows what an infinite return is, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, John knows what an infinite return is.
I have one now.
And John has one right now.
I
All
want
right,
one.
that's good.
Well,
I
want one.
Diana knows. Great. Jason Garrett. He knows. Listen, for those that don't know, infinite return is just what I described, right? It is putting yourself in a position where you have no money in a deal, right? And you should be seeking the infinite return on all of your cash flow investments. At least that's the way I invest, right? But there's a number of different strategies, but that's the way I invest. The cash that I put in, I look to get that back as fast as possible. If I can get that back as fast as possible, I have no money in the deal, and I still own the deal, and it's still paying me for infinity. One of the key components to building generational wealth is that position. I'm not looking to sell and get a quick profit. I'm not looking to, sell it at an exit strategy or some. Maybe I am to step up. Maybe if I'm doing smaller deals, 4 families, 6 families. But when I go up, I'm looking, because I'm only purchasing value add opportunities. I'm looking for the infinite return. Right. So other metrics of a deal are important. But for me, that's the most important thing, is to have a velocity of money, utilizing these credit lines. Because right now, we're going through COVID. If you're not utilizing the credit lines that we get, sometimes the financial institutions will take them back. They don't want a whole bunch of big credit floating out there that's not being utilized, not making them money. So I say that to tell you, you have to have a strategy in your deals. And I hope I was able to add some value to someone, because it's important.
Yeah, I was just thinking about what you were saying with that, when you do an apartment complex deal, and it could be any kind of deal that's structured in a large commercial building that way, is like, I look at it and said, I want to get that value add done and turn it by refinancing it as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. And if other people are invested in it and they want out, that's fine, because that's more profit for me. And that's where the infinite return comes in. As soon as you get that refinance done, what do you got in it? Nothing. It's, you know, well, you got a mortgage. I'm like, yeah, but that's not my money. That's the bank's money.
I don't have a mortgage.
So I don't have nothing on it.
The LLC has a
Right.
mortgage.
And then all the money you're collecting is just
See?
Right.
infinite return. Whether you're getting $50 or you're getting $1,000 or 10,000, it's you have no skin in the game at that point. and I think that's a key
Yep.
factor for people to understand that, because they always look at that. Oh, what's the cap rate? And I always look at the cap rate and I'm like, I'm the cash on cash. I don't care. I don't care if it's a 4 cap or 6 cap, but if it's giving
I'm
me
the same way. I
$10,000,
get that. That's yeah, and they lead with that, like, oh, I had to deal with a high cap rate, like that's the holy grail of everything. Like it's like no, but yeah, it's so it's all about strategy, right? And there's many other strategies that I've heard, but for me, that's where I am. I am literally about the velocity of money and basically making more money passively this year than I did last. When I say passively, I'm just talking about rental income, you know, and that's how it's been for the past 12 years of my life. And it's going to continue to be that way. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Anybody got questions? There we go. So John Donahue, if the racial left wins power in November, they don't like real estate.
I think he said the radical. Yeah,
Oh,
I think he said the radical left.
Here's your
That's
glasses.
my glasses. Sorry.
He doesn't want to put them on in public because, you know.
They don't like real estate owners and other rich people, and their goal is to do away with these tax strategies. What's your take on that?
Could you repeat that one more time?
Well, basically what they're leaning toward is basically this. If the Democrats win in November, because they're calling them radical left, they don't like real estate owners and other rich people, and their goal is to do away with these tax strategies. What's your take on that? Like, well, I guess what they're asking is, what would you do? Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you how I feel about it. First of all, you know, without turning this into a political conversation,
Right.
it really is always going to be an opportunity for whether it's Democrat or Republican. We have to realize the wealthy are the ones that are writing our legislation. So they're always going to be protected. They're always going to be protected. So I'm going to do what I've been doing, which is just follow the money, follow the people that are making money off the laws. Every single year, that's the playbook, right? We find the loopholes, we find out where the money is going, and we emulate the strategies. That's what it's always been. Whether it's been a Democratic Congress or Republican Congress, the outcome is still the same. The lobbyists write the legislation. To me, the smoke screen is the politics is there to divide us. You know, it's there to say, well, there's a radical this and that. Look, we all have our ideologies. You know, we all have our things that will divide us. But ultimately, you know, we live in a capitalistic society, and there's tiers, right? Whether you're black or white or whatever, there's rich people and poor people. There's corporations that take advantage of the labor. These are the things that exist. So I would just say, and Scott, you can answer that question because it's kind of long. I can't see it all.
There you go.
But
Matter.
I would just tell you, follow the money, follow what the wealthy are doing, follow what the corporations are doing. Amazon set the perfect example. They made $1 billion a year in taxes and paid none. I mean, $1 billion a year in profit and paid none, right? You know, I spin it around. Let's talk about hip hop, right? We talk about, you know, Scott, you know who Kanye West is, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you know who Kanye West is. So Kanye West, right? Kanye West was literally filed for bankruptcy, maybe 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Kanye West literally plugged in with the right accountant 2 years ago. And this, I don't know if a lot of people know this. Kanye West got a $38 million tax return because his accountant was able to understand tax laws, was able to understand the loopholes, went back, refiled, got him a $38 million check from the government, right? This is about information. This is about information. This is about wealth management. This is about having people that are in the know on your team, working with you with one goal: to build and manage wealth and create wealth. In whatever administration, whoever wins, it's still going to be opportunities to build and create wealth. And what you have to do is build generational wealth, take care of your family, make that first, right? And once you're able to do that, that's gonna lead the way and make your decisions.
So basically, it doesn't matter who wins the election. We got to follow what Donahue's doing, and we'll get there.
Yep.
Look, it matters. And then let me. I don't want to make it seem like it doesn't matter to vote, right? Because we all have our ideologies. I don't know if you've heard what Donald Trump did today. Did you hear about affordable housing, what he did?
No, not yet.
No.
I usually don't get to stuff online like that until late at night when I'm done trying to work.
I don't even know if it's online, but he basically peeled back provisions of the executive order that was put in place by Barack Obama dealing with affordable housing. And to me, it's a big deal because growing up in affordable housing, what's happening in America is, it's in the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, and whether you can see that perspective or not, there's literally still a fight for racial equality. And along that fight to racial equality, one of the key things that we have to have is we have to have equal access to housing. And it's undeniable that a lot of the crime, a lot of the poverty situation has been created because of what has been happening systemically in our laws and our legislation. I mean, let's face it, it was a point in time, and Senator Cory Booker, great state of New Jersey, he will tell you, he has a story in which his father literally got punched in the face because he tried to buy a home in Bergen County as a Black man. He literally had to buy the home. He had to get someone white to front as a front man so he can buy the home. All of this has, it has an effect. So, laws are in place and there's a rationale behind them. But the fact of the matter is, whether you see it or not, there is not equality, full equality in housing, full equality in our laws. It's definitely a point that something has to be done, because if something is not done, what's going to happen is the people that are disenfranchised will revolt, and there will be violence, and there will be a day of reckoning, and nobody wants that. So, it is what it is. Don't want to be political. I'm just speaking. I try to speak facts. Mr. Big H.
Exactly it.
It's happening. There's nothing you can do about it.
It's factual information. It's factually out there, and it's what do you do about it to correct it? That's the thing that has to be handled the right way.
I would say people, instead of just sitting and bitching about it on Facebook, need to take action, the correct actions. But also,
affordable housing needs to be done, but I think it needs to be done better than like a 40-story building. You know what I mean? There has to be something better than that.
I totally agree.
And that's my theory.
Totally agree.
Like,
totally agree.
Let's build a 40-story building in the middle of Newark. But okay, great, that's a house, but that's not a home. It's just a room somewhere in this concrete building where there's no anything.
But creating it in a place that has violence and stuff, and the drugs and stuff does not help. Right.
So you got to think outside the box and go somewhere where you can do it differently.
We'll have to have a roundtable group, and let's see if we can come up with something and present it to the council.
I'm open to things like that all the time.
I'm open to it.
Put big minds together and make something happen that's different.
Hey, I'm open to a better world for my son, a better world for humans, period. That's what I'm open to, So, whatever we got to do to get there, let's get there.
This one already wrote to Aaron Brockovich because our town keeps getting brown water. We have no water pressure. The other side smells like chlorine. I took the water test down to the pool place and it has fungus in it. Coming out of my kitchen faucet has fungus. So he's ready. They're not listening to us. So he just wrote to Aaron Brockovich, and let's cross our fingers that somebody comes to help.
Well, I'll go out to other people and I'll do it. But it's like this in other places, and you have to go about it a certain way, and then you have to gain traction and team with people, and that's the way to do it. But
we're off track.
Yeah, we're off track. Let me Okay, so somebody asked, let me scroll up and see who this was. Mr. Big Agent, but don't you have to personally guarantee a bank loan enough if it's through your LLC?
No, that's what I said before. You know, when we build out your business credit, number one, we are a bank, right? So we can do things that you know, we can give you a line of credit, literally. I mean, that's what we can do. We're investing our own money into entities that we know the owners, because we built them, right? That process is not a slow process. We have literally the best customer service in the business. I've heard other people say it, but when other companies, when they do it, they literally just get charged the fee and you're pretty much left on your own. What we do is we work every single day, the same way a management entity would do, and we, you know, focus on what your strategy is individually to get you from point A all the way to point Z.
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
Mr. Big said, don't get political.
Yeah, Mr. Biggs, I mean, you know, it's hard not to in this day and age, to be honest with you. You know, especially with somebody you know, ask questions that are charged. You know, you're gonna get you know, some emotion, and unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. I hope you can, you know, just pick value out of you know, what we're saying, and ultimately it's about perspective, right? Just understanding each other, understanding where we come from, and I think if we can live in a world where that exists, we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, I think it says it right there in the Constitution. Every man is created equal, right? So why aren't we treated equal, right? And that's the way it should be.
I think if you cut yourself and you bleed red, you're the same.
Yep.
Because I always had this, we've had this joke, my friend Coretta Jackson, we have been friends since before we were born. Our parents, we were actually born in the same rooms. And she always bitched at me that I was always trying to get tan. And she was, and I was in the sun trying to get darker. And she was always sitting in the shade trying to stay lighter. So we're all the same. Yeah. Okay. We all bleed red. Sorry. You know?
Right.
So.
Right.
So, okay. Vasco, also, are there minimums that we must have as a client to be able to work with you on helping us scale to large CRE investments?
No, well, our program, number one, we didn't talk specifically about the program. The program is $2,500, right? So if you look at other competitors, you know, they cost a lot more doing similar. Like I know that Dun & Bradstreet has a program. You're going to spend like $5,000. Difference between what they do and what I do is you're not just getting business credit. Business credit is just coming into the party. What you're getting with us is the wealth management piece that we talked about, building ecosystem of LLCs. What you're also going to get as a CPA, it's just in my nature, tax strategy, right? Tax strategy plugged in to the latest, the most recent tax strategies that help you to scale your business and create wealth in the process. That's really, you know, our value add and our value proposition. That's what you get with us. And then on top of all that, we're a bank, so we lend money. So we can, number one, help you build up, but we can also fund your real estate deals. Whether you need $1 million or $100 million, it's still the same thing. And I give you my contact. If anybody is out there on social media, you can definitely follow me on Instagram. On A. Donahue Baker is my Instagram handle. You can follow me there. I also have a YouTube channel in which, you know, I try to share knowledge. I try to spread, you know, just educate people so that we can all do things together. Also have a Facebook group. It's called Generational Wealth Builders, the Inner Circle. Scott is a member of it as well. But in that group, what we try to do is we try to tackle, not only educate, but what's coming down now is we try to analyze $1 million deals, right? Just to get people in the habit of analyzing $1 million deals. And we have people all over the country. We're probably over 750 people as of today. And, you know, everybody has their own individual perspective, because you have people, some people out west, some people are down south, some people are in this area right here. So the bottom line is we all just try to share our different experiences. I'm talking to some guys from Oklahoma that has an apartment complex deal, but I try to bring that to the forefront so that we all can learn as we analyze deals. What are we looking for? What's the key things in the market? How do we network with, to me, politicians, right? So we're back on politics again, but politicians are also a wealth of knowledge for real estate investors, because they know where the properties or the areas of development are. And once they get into office, I'm talking on the local level, in every local municipality, there's a process to acquiring city-owned properties. And I've built a large portion of my portfolio off of those political connections, acquiring city-owned properties at pennies on the dollar. If you are interested in value-add opportunities, that is an untapped market. And that's one of the things I will show you how to do specifically. If you're in New Jersey, I can get lots for pennies on the dollar, in some municipalities through the resources that I have. So that's really it.
Cool. So let me just, before I forget, let me put, how do we find you on Facebook?
We're going to type it into
I'm putting it in another
comments.
chat so people can see it. It's just your name, right?
Lose him again. Yep, he froze. I got add.
No,
comments.
There he is.
There you are.
Yep.
So I want to make sure it's right. So if people want to find you on Facebook, it's A. Donahue Baker, right?
Yep. A. Donahue Baker. I'm going to put it in the chat.
Is it the same thing on Instagram?
It's the same thing on everything. On every
social media platform.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd follow him at A.
And I'm also going to put in the chat.
Oh, there you go.
I'm also going to put in the chat the website for our company. It's Money Avenue, right? So
cool.
Money Avenue is unique. It's a fintech company. It is doing things literally that other companies are not. We talked about a couple of the things. We talked about our strategy to eliminate payday lenders, right? You can get short-term loans as little as $500, as high as $10,000, very low interest rates from 2 to 3%, and as fast as 3 hours. That's one thing that is unique. Another thing that is unique that you will not find at other financial institutions is we literally will partner with you. If you find a deal, 100% of your deal, if we like it. What that means is that we become the lead investor, so to speak, but you still retain ownership. So if you have a deal, you bring a deal to us, we underwrite it, we like it, and you don't have the money, well, you know what? We will keep you in the deal. We won't just wholesale and take you out. No, we'll keep you in the deal, we'll fund it, and you'll be able to sponsor and create wealth and do your next deal subsequently. So that makes it a perfect spot for new investors looking to step up into apartment complexes, right? Because that's what we're focusing on, still acquiring apartment complexes. That's something that you won't see at Chase or Wells Fargo or anything else like that.
No,
so
definitely not.
That's one thing.
I can't raise my
and then finally, and then okay. And
I have a quick
no, you
one.
first. You first have it. I'm sorry.
Because you're talking
right
about new people coming in for doing apartment complexes, and you do the ones that do add value. Do you have, or would you let them be the asset manager for it?
Well, usually it comes like this. People, like we've gotten deals in the past where some people, like in other parts of the country, they'll say, look, we have a great opportunity in my town. I'm in Tupelo, Mississippi. I've never been to Tupelo, Mississippi, but when I look at the numbers, it's really a good deal. But they're like, well, I need $400,000 cash to the table, and I don't have the money. So what we'll do is we'll not only come up with the money, that the cash portion, but we'll also do the financing. And then we'll say, well, look, based on what you've done up to this part, we'll let you be the face. And you know, we negotiate percentages, right? So if you bring a fully developed deal, something that maybe has some hair on it but still has a little work to do, you know, maybe not, you won't get majority of the deal, but you know, maybe your percentage won't be as big. But if you're, you know, you might even say, I have some money. Let's say the example that we spoke about, somebody has 100,000 to put into the deal, you know, that's a bigger percentage. But we come up with the fair percentage, we negotiate it, and somebody might say, you know, I have no money, but yes, I could literally not asset manage, but property manage. We let them do that and be the face of it. And, you know, they're the ones talking to the local politicians. They're the ones cutting the ribbons, you know, at the groundbreaking if it's a development deal. But that's really a business model that I wish someone would have done for me when I was going into apartment complexes. So that's really what I wanted, the platform that I kind of set up and said, look, this is what we want to do. This is how we're going to create more developers. We need to go out and sponsor people, invest in them literally, but at the same time, we're a business. So, you know, we have to make a profit, but we also give them something, keep them in the deal so they're making a profit as well.
I think that's awesome. In my book, I mean, there's not many people out there willing to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's really great. And it's a great opportunity for anybody on this call right now listening. If you want to jump in on that, I mean, that's a very great opportunity. Really awesome.
I'm in. Bye, honey.
Okay. What markets are you in, and how did you find your leads in out-of-state markets?
Okay, so I'm in 3 markets. I'm in New Jersey, which is my home state. I'm assuming most of you guys are here in New Jersey. I also own a number of apartment complexes in Atlanta, and I own apartments in Jacksonville, Florida as well. How did I find my leads? Combination of brokers. So and I'll give you this tip. Pick 3 markets, right? 3 markets, either you have a family member there or something like that. Try to reach out, because I believe in the 80-20 rule. This is factual. I've looked at this. In every single market, right, there's 20% of the brokers that got 80% of the deals. I've looked at every single market. It's factually true. It's a handful of brokers that get the vast majority of the deals. If you're interested in a particular market, find out who those 20% of the brokers are, become friends with them, send them Christmas cards, call them, you know, whatever, send them a bottle of wine, whatever it is going to make you stand out. What you want from those brokers are the pocket listings, right? And what pocket listings are deals that are not on the market. And the reason why that broker is going to give you a pocket listing is because you have the ability to close quickly. Having these lines of credit does that for you. When you can call a broker and say, look, my name's A. Donahue Baker. I got this $5 million line of credit over here, and I happen to be in your market trying to get properties that meet this criteria. And create a 1-page. Tell them, look, I'm looking for value add opportunity. This is what I do, by the way. I'm looking for value add opportunity, 50 units or more. The bigger, the better. But I don't want, if I'm not in a market, I don't want anything below 50 if I don't have another building in that market. But if I'm in the market, I want 50. I'm sorry. If I'm not in the market, I want 50 and above. If I'm in the market already, I'll go lower because I have economies of scale because I have a team in place, right? But if the reason why I will only do 50 and above if I'm not in a market is because I have to go out there and select a team, and that costs time, that costs money. I want it to be worth my effort. I don't want to do it for a 4-family in a market. You know, it's just not profitable for me time-wise, right? So, you know, just things that you need to know. The place to what I feel, I would never just go to LoopNet to find deals, like find real estate, but LoopNet is a great place to find brokers. So you should take advantage of that. If you don't, LoopNet, if you don't know what that is, you know, check it out. It's like the MLS for apartment complexes.
Yeah, it's the they call it like the that's where deals go to die, they say. But the brokers still put them there because they're trying to get these complexes sold.
Yeah, they still need to be sold.
So, you know, if their warm pool doesn't work, they got to go to a cold pool somehow. So they put it on LoopNet
Yeah,
wherever
so
there's access
so
throughout the country,
so
right?
yeah, so LoopNet is LoopNet is tailored for people that are looking for that opportunity to get in, but they don't have the experience to know that the deals on 90% of the deals on LoopNet, have been vetted and proved to be bad deals.
Right.
So they get a lot of people. They get a lot of people.
Yeah, but it's good to get the brokers because they, like I said, they still got to try to sell it. They got to market it somehow. That's their job, their
Oh
responsibility.
yeah, definitely.
So it's really an opportunity to reach out to them and make contacts.
Yep.
John also asked, will you do that on smaller multifamilies like 2 to 4 units? And I'm assuming he's talking about fund the deal and make them an equity partner.
Yes.
No, and I'll tell you why. The reason why is because with our program, you won't need to, any of the smaller stuff, you won't need to, right? What we're doing is we're creating developers, right? We're not just, we just don't want to, we're investing our own money. So, and it's only, but so many of those deals that are value add, that are apartment complexes on the market. So if you're looking for a 2 or 3 family, we show you how in our program. We show you how you don't even need us. We just give you the secret sauce, and you can do it on your own. So
Right.
you don't need our money. We create that money for you.
Yeah, if you're not going to work with Donahue, though, from a different perspective, what you could do is reach out to an experienced investor like us, somebody else in the area, and maybe JV with them or partner with them on a deal. And a lot of us will do that, and then we can somehow work out and negotiate a strategy for you to be involved with the project. So that's my suggestion to John on that one.
Was that all the questions answered?
That's on here, or any Facebook sign?
I had Facebook. I had Natalie says she was talking about the affordable housing in Reston, VA is pretty well done. So maybe
We'll have to go take a look at it.
we can take a look at that and see what their model is. She says they interlaced it with the more expensive homes, affordable townhomes near single families. Of course, in the city land is a premium, which is probably why they build those high rises.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think the high rises just brings trouble. You don't have anywhere to walk your dog.
You got nowhere to be. You got nowhere to. I mean, you're just in a room. That's my theory on it. I mean,
I seen John's dog over there. His dog sitting on his lap.
So, anybody else have any questions they want to bring up?
No?
No? Okay, I'm going to bring up a
That's it.
question to Donahue. Is, being that we're on this call, how many people do you take in to your program at a time?
There's really no limit. I have a whole company, so we can handle volume. So there's really no limit. If you're in New Jersey, I'm in this market actively, so you're gonna see me a lot more than if somebody that's in California, or in Houston, or that's really it. So, the whole thing is creating this community that people are actively doing stuff. I used to go, I think I met you at one of the RIA meetings, by the way, right?
Yeah.
So I used to go to these RIA meetings. Yeah, and it's like you meet a ton of people, but it's only a small percentage of those people that are really doing things. And that's what I realized, that it's like I like to be around people that are doing things, because iron sharpens iron. If you're out there making deals, you want to be around other people that are making deals. Why? Because that's going to help you make deals, because you're looking at what they're doing. You're looking at their strategies. You're learning, and it's a give and take, and every time I get a chance to see you guys, it's like, it's always good energy. It's always, what you've been doing, what's going, so it's the same thing. I just like to, engage and be around people that are doing great things.
Yeah.
Thanks. Now that you said that. And you mentioned that you do Jacksonville, Florida. Now, we used to live down in Coconut Creek before Hurricane Andrew hit. That was a fun one. I actually, the reason I asked about the asset managers, because I had something come across my desk that's 345 units. It's vacant. And I want to go
Yeah.
rehab it.
Well, I would love to know some more about that deal. Number one, is it, does it work? Is it in terms of the price? How it got there, and find out a little bit more about the integral details. But that's a big project. I will tell you this, on the opposite side of COVID, those projects probably are going to be a little scary, right? Because what we have to realize is that most people, may be out of work for a long period of time. So if you need a long period of stabilization, you just the numbers got to be right. So,
Right.
I would love to analyze that deal. If it works out where we come up with an investment and it's a long-term play, that could be a prime opportunity where that's an impactful deal. We go into a city and, develop. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of work, but Jacksonville is a place I have a team. I'm willing to do it. Yep.
I have a whole construction crew in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
Our account. He was actually on our
He was on our call
couple months ago. Yeah. Our accountability coach. He's awesome, and yes, he does the whole thing. So I was thinking about reaching out to him and tell him to do a drive-by for me and let me know what's the deal.
Look, it's going to be a lot of opportunities coming up. So I would just tell you, look at it, but we haven't seen, it's going to be worse. Put it that way. It's going to be worse. So you're going to get deals falling out the sky. I'm telling people, just make sure you're in a position to move quickly. And that's going to, when you see something that is appetizing, make sure that you have the structure to take advantage of it. But there's going to be lots of deals coming up.
It. I thought condos would be like the thing and sell it off and keep the HOA.
Yeah, that's part of it. We sell some of it off so you can get some of the money, but
but people got to have jobs to get those condos. That's why it matters. But Jacksonville is an area that, believe it or not, lots of growth, lots of companies down there, but you still want to make sure that the economy as a whole can sustain the rent roll base, or if you're going to do condos as a developer, it's really about, can people still get loans? Could they qualify?
Yep.
We don't know right now. We don't know. So that's key.
Well, you hire the construction workers and you make sure you pay them enough so that they can buy the condo when you're done with them. Hey, Prestige! I'm just doing it after Prestige has that going on across from our apartment building. It's exactly what they did.
Yep, they
renovated
buildings.
And then they moved their contractors, their construction workers into the buildings.
Yep, so they know they can afford the rent.
So
that's creative.
So we got
that's creative. That's
just
creative.
thinking outside the box there.
So, Mr. Big Agent, can I act as a broker and bring you clients and get paid a fee on successful funding of the client?
Absolutely, 100%.
There you go.
Awesome.
Stream of income.
Another source.
Because
in actuality, I think we actually pay to Mr. Agent. He's such an agent. He's such a big agent. But we actually pay. We actually pay. I think the best, right? So per client, we actually our affiliate programs, we pay $1,000 per deal. Bringing a client to us.
So not only you'll be a student, but you get it paid back by being an affiliate, and then you become a partner in deals that you don't even have to put money up for. Man, this is awesome.
I'm glad I was on this.
This is how we grow. This is how we grow. This is how we became, Inc. 5000. We one of the fastest growing companies right now. We just got. I can't. That's a new thing, but officially on August 12th, we'll be able. I just got a letter that we were selected to be Inc. 5000, one of the fastest growing fintech companies. in the space. But that's how we do it. Our affiliate program, you can, find out more about it. I don't know if I was supposed to leak that out, but they told us, so I'm
Well,
sharing the
people
good
dropped off.
news.
But that's awesome. Congratulations
Everybody,
on the
shh, don't tell
receiving
no
the
one.
award. Yeah, we did have people
Yeah,
drop off,
yeah.
so there's less on the call, so there's less that know now.
Yeah, I got
Okay.
news for you 'cause it's out there.
Well,
I
there's only a
got
couple.
both sites going on over here with watch parties, and it's up on Facebook Live.
I'll have to edit the video and take that out, right?
As long as I don't get in trouble with them, it's all good. But they were like, do not make it
Well, but-
public. But you know what? We're sharing good news, so
Yeah,
it's great.
but they have to
You
work
didn't
with you,
leak it
right?
To the
So
public, you told Facebook.
yeah, well, some people. It's only if they go into our
It's
group.
hilarious. So.
It's all good though,
hilarious.
because it brings the business for everybody, right? So if everybody's bringing the business
Yeah.
with the money, then Oh, Natalie says sales tip: always say you only have 3 more spots.
Sales tip.
Well, that creates.
I hear you.
So,
I hear you. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'll take a note. Thanks, Natalie. I appreciate you. Definitely.
it's all good. It's all good. So who's still on? Mr. Big is still on. Adele is on there. I haven't heard anything from Adele.
No, but if you,
He's so big, that guy, Mr. Big. He's so big.
Mr. Big, I really want you to deface yourself so I can see what you look like.
He's got a blurry.
Show
Up in the
yourself.
corner there. Show yourself. Come on.
He's too big. That's why the camera told me to say hi.
No. He said no.
He's just so big.
Look,
He's everywhere. He's just so big.
Kent Clothier says, look, don't be worried about the camera. Get over it. It's what you look like. You know?
Yeah. When we go to Donahue's office and
Be
you walk
proud
in, I
of
mean,
yourself. I bet you he's not even that big. I bet you he's really tiny.
where will we find the recording? When you're 6'4", I can call myself Mr. Big.
That's the size of my brother. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty big.
Bigger than me. I'm not even 6 feet, so
Yeah.
where will I find the recording?
Well, it's on Facebook Live
It's on
and
Facebook
Facebook
Live,
Watch Party.
and-
So
It will also be, I'll see if I could send it. Well,
you-
it'll be sending a link out to people for it on Zoom for probably a week or so, but I always upload it to our YouTube channel. So you can go up to our YouTube channel and find all the recordings from our meetings. And I was doing Facebook Lives for a while, but then I got off it onto meetings. I'll probably get back on the Facebook Live in the future. So
yeah, you just have to put our Facebook up there and you can find us.
yeah, to YouTube.
I really, really appreciate this meeting and big thanks to Donahue. Yes, I do too.
Hey, I
do
love
too.
Jason Garrett. I love
guess the
Jason
Cowboys
Garrett. He's
didn't pay him
incredible.
enough.
Yeah. But now he's a giant. He's incredible. Jason, I appreciate you. I really do. Great man.
Thank you from Adele for answering my questions.
Do you have any other ones?
Thank you, Adele.
Answer them
Appreciate
now
you.
before we wrap this up.
Yep.
Yep, I think.
We're over by a little bit, but that's up to anybody who's on the call. I always go over. It's the flow. You get into conversation.
Thanks, John. Appreciate you. Nancy, thank you. Appreciate you.
Great
Mr.
information.
Big, you're just so big. Ian, my man, Austin, I hear you. All right, guys, listen,
All
Scott,
right.
Tabitha,
Everybody
I
wants
just
to
want to say,
unmute. They can.
Yep.
Let's
Thank you.
unmute and give them a big round of applause.
Thank you,
Thank
Donahue,
you.
for coming
But-
on
but-
and spending your time with us.
thanks, guys.
All right.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully we'll do it again sometime. But thank you so much,
yeah.
Scott,
Yes.
Tabitha, for
That's a
having
good
me.
net.
I think it was a great experience. I really loved the energy was really good in here. So we're in COVID. So this is actually a pretty good night out for me because I'm at home every single night. And it's just something to do. And you guys are making the most of it. You're doing great work. And I know that I know your passion is real because when I see you guys, you're always bubbly. You're always happy. Always got great things to say. So just want to say I really appreciate you guys.
Thanks.
we appreciate you, Donahue. I thank you for coming on and spending time with us and providing this great information and the opportunity for people to work with you if they jump up and contact you and reach out to you, because I think there's awesome opportunity there for people to advance and build that generational wealth. And that's why I wanted you to come on, so that people
Yep.
understand opportunities. You know, when you get opportunities, you have to take advantage of them, right? You can't just sit there and
True.
you know.
Very true.
So it's an opportunity for people, and a lot of people didn't attend, and that's stuff they missed out on. You know, we could do about that.
Their
but,
fault.
Yep. Their
I
fault.
know where I'm going. I know what I'm going to do. I know how I'm going to become the next millionaire. Thank you.
All right.
Love you guys. Love you guys. Have a good one now. Take care.
Thank you again. Thanks everybody for coming on and attending the meeting and joining us. And next month we're going to have, it's a life coach, by the way, not just a coach. He's a life coach. He does everything from business to personal to everything. And
if anybody ever has a teenager or is going to have a teenager, trust me, he's the one that can help you get through the notebooks getting tossed because you don't talk anymore. Been there and done that. So he's good. Helps out. If it wasn't for him, our family wouldn't be where we are right now. I would have probably choked my daughter. I love her to death. I love my children.
It's good.
They're good. So looking forward to seeing everybody again soon.
We'll talk soon. And thanks again, Donahue. And we'll be talking to you as well soon. Take care, everybody.
Bye now. I had to turn this off.